Hi, Grace Community. Pastor Cliff here with the Goodness Gracious Podcast broadcast. We're glad you're tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us so that we get our own channel. Hey, I'm here today with a great guy who has some fascinating things about his life. I wish I could pan the camera around the whole room because you get to see his family who are here to watch him as well, and you've seen all of them on the Goodness Gracious Podcast broadcast as well. So here we've got the famous Lowell Coulson. So Lowell, good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
And you have, where did you grow up?
Wisconsin.
Another Wisconsin, oh, of course, because you were interested in tobogganing a whole lot. So tell us a little bit about your background, about growing up in Wisconsin, and where the good Lord took you from there.
I lived in Prairie du Sac, Wisconsin, Prairie of the Sac Indians, on the Wisconsin River, about 25 miles northwest of Madison. And I did attend the Presbyterian Church, a very small church in Prairie du Sac. And that's where I had some situations that I met the Lord.
So your parents went to that church?
Yes.
And you were how old when you started there, and how old when you left?
Well, I was about 5, I guess, when I started there. I was a member until my wife and I moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
After I graduated.
Wow, so you were there a long time.
Yes.
And how did the Lord begin to speak to your heart?
Well, there was one situation that I had a health problem that caused a lot of problems for me. And I couldn't get over that health problem, so everybody had decided they did not want me involved in other situations. I was never invited to a weekend camping thing.
At the church?
Well, with the Boy Scouts.
Or the Boy Scouts? I'm sorry to hear that. I love the Boy Scouts.
Well, it wasn't them. It was just the fact that the leaders didn't want me around.
They were a little nervous that you might get sick or have an accident or something. That's rough.
Exactly. But one time they were getting ready to take the kids, getting signed up to go to the Presbyterian summer camp, and I was there waiting to be involved, and I was told by one of the men that was signing us up, said, "Lowell, get out of the way, you're not going with us anyway."
Wow.
And so my Sunday school teacher said, "Lowell, come with me." We went to the other side of the church, and she said, "If you will ask the Lord, He will take care of your problems." And she said, "I've written a little prayer here for you to pray." So that night I went home, I prayed that prayer before I went to sleep. I never had the problem again after that time. Never.
Wow!
Yes.
That is such a great story.
Oh.
And you went to camp?
Not that time, but other times, yes.
Other times. So you eventually got to camp?
Yes, I did.
And did God use those experiences as well?
Oh, yes.
And can you think of a particular time when you sensed God speaking to you besides that time when you were praying that prayer?
Well, there were several times, but one which was interesting, I was hunting, and I had killed a deer, and I was trying to clean it. I was only 13 years old at the time.
13 years old.
And there was a man there that I had helped him clean his deer, and he was telling me how to clean mine. And he said something, and I leaned back from the deer to see what he was saying. A rifle went off to my left, and a bushes to my immediate right exploded. And if I had been leaning over yet, I would have been in the path of that bullet.
Oh dear. Can I say that? That's bad. That's bad. But that is amazing. Well, that is an amazing story. And so that was indelibly ingrained on your heart.
Exactly. But there were so many times in my life, because I spent probably a third of my life on airplanes going to other places throughout the world. because of my work in the computer industry.
Tell us about how the Lord used your career, your moves, your marriage to. You can go in any direction you want here. How did He use you as His son and as a witness?
Well, so many places we went, the different churches would ask us to be involved, and we usually accepted the invitations. And it was amazing how the Lord would open the doors and give us information, give us guidance that we needed to get those things done. I was at one little church here in Arizona. I was asked to be the assistant pastor, which I did. And
was that in Kingman?
Happy Jack.
Happy Jack. That's
Happy Jack. Yeah. And there's so many other times too that I was involved in as the leader of the different groups within the churches. And I did work with Campus Crusade for Christ, and we did join Campus Crusade, and I did get to teach in India.
Really?
Well, when they established the Christian churches in Chennai, India.
Oh, I love India. That's marvelous. So I'd like to know, you got to work on the development of the computer terminal, and
yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your career in engineering? Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, I was an electrical engineer from the University of Wisconsin. We developed the first computer terminal, and my job was to tell people about it and get them involved and see if they wanted to buy units and get them installed. And we did that throughout the U.S. government and major corporations, so it was interesting to do that. I met a lot of different people, including a lot of high government officials.
Well, that's exciting. You were invited to the White House at one point in time.
We were invited to the White House twice.
Did you go?
No, we couldn't, because we did have dinner one night with President Johnson, but that was a private situation.
Isn't that exciting?
Well,
what fun. So, did you ever see the Lord use your career in your witness? I mean, did you find yourself talking to other people about Jesus in that context, or was that pretty hard?
Many times our son, as a matter of fact, got us involved in street ministry, and so we were going around telling people about Jesus and passing out literature. And we did that through different churches too. We'd go in through the communities associated with that church and pass out information and invite them people to that church. And that was several different churches because we moved, as I mentioned, 24 times. 24
times! And the Lord didn't abandon you once?
Never once.
Not once.
I had so many interesting experiences on airplanes, but we didn't know if the gear were down, and we wanted to land anyway. And
woo!
Landing one time on top of another airplane, we
oh my goodness!
Managed to pull up in time to not have the problem.
That'll take your breath away.
Indeed.
So, can you think of a time in your life outside of your early stages in faith, but where your faith was really challenged and you had to really seek the Lord in that?
Well, matter of fact, when we moved up to Happy Jack to help establish the church up there.
And help me out, Happy Jack is not exactly a city like Phoenix is.
It's an area.
Happy Jack is an area. I saw pictures of this place with piles of snow all around. Anyway, go ahead. It's a little remote.
Yes. Matter of fact, we used to joke about it. It was 40 miles to the nearest filling station, and no, I'm sorry, to the nearest grocery store, and 80 miles to the nearest doctor's office for us.
Woo! 80 miles to see the doctor.
So we had a lot of interesting experiences up there with trying to get that church established and to help put that church together, to work with different people throughout the community to get them involved, to get that church going. And we actually got to build a beautiful new church building up there.
Wow. I've seen pictures of it.
Yes.
Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Well, Lowell, it is so good to spend time with you. Before we go, what do you enjoy most about what have you enjoyed most about your experience at Grace Community Church?
Well, it's been interesting, and just to see different people come in, because a lot of the people in Grace are people that have retired, and they're coming from their normal homes in different places and getting involved. And it's so great to see people and what they can do and have done to teach others about the Lord Jesus Christ and what things would happen in their lives. And because a lot of the people are older and they go through a lot of physical problems and spiritual problems at times. It's so great to see how the Lord comes to help them through these things and help us through these things.
There's been a lot of camaraderie, and I know that many people talk about the Coulsons as people who really are folks that build other people up, encourage people. And so thank you for all that you've done over the years and being such a faithful part of Grace Community Church. Lowell Coulson, everybody. I hope that you'll take time to meet Lowell when this crazy virus thing is over with. And, you know, I have a feeling it won't be long before we're back together. We're going to have some fun times together. So make sure you watch all of these podcasts because you get to know people better. And it's just so much easier when you know people's stories. And by the way, see me so that you can be interviewed for the Goodness Gracious podcast. Well, dear friends, God bless you. Remember to hit the subscribe button. And until we meet again, keep Jesus first.
Amen.